you walked into that conference room. Everyone started talking, and suddenly, your mind went blank. You knew what you wanted to say. You had the ideas. But the words just wouldn't come out the way you wanted, so you stayed quiet. Again, if that sounds familiar, you are not alone. Millions of people living and working in America go through this every single day. And here's what I want to tell you right from the start. The problem is not your English. The problem is confidence. And confidence is a skill. You can learn it. In this video, I'm going to give you the exact strategies that help English speakers perform confidently at American workplaces. These are not textbook tips. These are practical, real-world tools that work in real offices, real meetings, and real conversations. Let's get into it. Strategy 1. Stop trying to sound perfect. Start trying to be clear. Here is the #1 mistake people make when speaking English at work. They try to sound like a native speaker before they focus on being understood. And that pressure, that constant self-maneuvering, is exactly what freezes you up. Here's the truth. American workplaces are not looking for perfect pronunciation. They are looking for clear communication. There is a huge difference. Think about it this way. Some of the most respected professionals in America, doctors, engineers, executives, professors, speak English with heavy accents. Sundar Pichai runs Google. Satya Nadella runs Microsoft. Indra Nooyi ran PepsiCo for 12 years. Nobody hired them for their accent. They were hired for their ideas and their ability to communicate those ideas clearly. So the first shift you need to make is this. Stop performing, start communicating. Speak slowly enough to be understood. Pause between your ideas. Make eye contact. These 3 things alone will make you sound 10 times more confident, even if your grammar isn't perfect. Try this exercise this week. Every time you speak at work, slow down by 20%. Just 20%. You'll feel more in control, and people will actually hear what you're saying. Strategy 2. Prepare your key phrases before meetings. One of the biggest confidence killers at work is being caught off guard. Someone asks you a question in a meeting, and because you didn't expect it, you panic. Your brain switches to your first language. You struggle to translate. And by the time you find the words, the conversation has already moved on. The solution is preparation. And this doesn't mean memorizing a speech. It means having a toolkit of go-to phrases ready before every meeting. Here are some phrases every professional should have ready. When you agree with someone, say, "That's a great point. I'd add that." Or "I completely agree." And building on that, when you need time to think, say, "That's a really interesting question. Let me think about that for a second." This is something native speakers do all the time. It is not a weakness. It is professional behavior. When you didn't understand something, say, "I want to make sure I understood that correctly. Could you repeat that?" Or just to clarify, are you saying? These phrases make you sound engaged and professional, not confused. Before every meeting, ask yourself, what topics will probably come up? What might someone ask me? Prepare 2 or 3 sentences for each likely scenario. This small investment of 5 minutes can completely change how confident you feel when you walk into that room. Strategy 3. Master small talk. It's more important than you think. Here is something nobody tells you when you move to America. Small talk is not optional. It is a professional skill. In American workplace culture, the relationship you build in the hallway, at the coffee machine, or before a meeting starts, that relationship affects how people perceive you professionally. People who never engage in small talk are often seen as cold, disinterested, or difficult to work with. It has nothing to do with their actual work performance, but perception matters enormously in any workplace. So how do you get good at small talk when it feels unnatural? You start with 3 simple categories. The first is weather. It sounds boring, but it works everywhere. Cold enough for you today? Or, can you believe this? Heat gets a conversation going instantly. The second is weekend plans. On Fridays, people love talking about their plans. On Mondays, They love recapping them. Simply asking, "Did you do anything fun this weekend?" opens a door that leads to real connection. The third is work-related common ground. Commenting on a shared project, a company announcement, or even the office coffee. "This new coffee machine is a game changer, right?" Gives you something mutual to bond over. The goal of small talk is not to say something brilliant. The goal is to show that you're present, friendly, and part of the team. Even 1 or 2 exchanges a day will dramatically shift how your colleagues see you over time. Strategy 4. Use the power of body language. This strategy is the one most people completely overlook when it comes to speaking confidently. What your body says is just as important as what your mouth says. Research shows that up to 60% of communication is nonverbal. Your posture, your eye contact, your hand gestures, all of it sends a message before you even open your mouth. Here is what confident body language looks like in an American professional setting. Stand or sit up straight. Not rigid, just upright. Slouching communicates insecurity. Make steady eye contact when you are speaking and when you are listening. You don't have to stare. Look at the person for a few seconds. Look away naturally, then return. This shows you are engaged and keep your hands visible and use natural gestures. Hiding your hands or crossing your arms creates distance and signals discomfort, not occasionally when others are speaking. This shows you are actively listening, which actually encourages people to include you more in the conversation. Here is a powerful technique called the confidence posture. Before a big meeting or presentation, find a private space, a bathroom stall works fine, and stand with your feet shoulder width apart. Hands on your hips, chin up for just 2 minutes. Research from Harvard suggests this posture actually shifts your hormonal state and increases feelings of confidence. It sounds simple. It works. Strategy 5. Embrace mistakes as part of the process. Let me ask you something honestly. How many mistakes do you think the average native English speaker makes every single day? They say and constantly. They mispronounce words. They use grammar incorrectly. They forget what they were saying and nobody gives it a second thought. But when a non-native speaker makes even a tiny mistake, they carry that embarrassment for hours. They replay it in their mind. They decide they should have stayed quiet. And that self-criticism is the biggest obstacle to growth. Here's the mindset shift you need. Mistakes are data, not disasters. Every time you speak and something doesn't come out right, you have just learned something. You identified a gap. That is progress. The people who improve the fastest are not the people who make the fewest mistakes. They are the people who are willing to make mistakes in public and keep going anyway. When you make a mistake at work, here's what to do. Don't apologize excessively. Simply correct it and continue. If you say the wrong word, say, "Actually, I mean," and move on. If someone corrects you, say thanks for clarifying that with a smile and continue. This professional response actually increases respect, not reduces it. Strategy 6. Build your English muscle outside of work. Confidence at work doesn't come from practice only at work. It comes from immersion in the language consistently, every single day. Think of English fluency the way you think of physical fitness. You don't get strong only at the gym during work hours. You build strength over time through consistent daily habits. Here are the habits that make the biggest difference. First, watch American content actively, not passively. Turn on subtitles for any show or movie you're watching, and pay attention to how phrases are constructed. Pause and repeat sentences out loud. Second, listen to podcasts during your commute. Business podcasts, news podcasts, talk shows. These expose you to natural, conversational American English. Third, speak English at home when you can, even talking to yourself, narrating what you're doing, or rehearsing conversations you expect to have. All of it trains your brain to access English faster under pressure. Fourth, and most importantly, find a speaking partner. This could be a colleague, a neighbor, a language exchange partner you find online. Speaking with a real person, even once a week, accelerates your growth faster than any app or textbook. The act of speaking in real time with stakes is irreplaceable. The bigger picture. Here's what I want you to take away from this video. Speaking English confidently at work in America is not about erasing who you are. It is not about pretending to be someone you're not. It is about adding a new professional skill to the remarkable person you already are. You came to this country, or you are building a career in this language, because you had ambition, courage, and drive. Those qualities don't disappear when you walk into an office. They are still there. The only thing standing between you and full professional expression is practice and the willingness to keep showing up, even when it's uncomfortable. Every confident English speaker you admire was once exactly where you are right now. They practiced, they stumbled, they kept going, and so will you. Start with one strategy from this video, just one. This week, practice it consistently. Come back to this video next week and add another one. Give yourself 3 months of genuine effort, and you will not recognize the difference. You have earned your place in that room. Now it's time to let your voice fill it.